Hello Aquarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And that way you won't miss any of the future readings that we do for you, all right? So let's just get into it. What does Aquarius need to know? What is the energy coming through for this coming week for Aquarius? What is going on? What is the message? First card today. And we've got a Prince of Cups. Let's find out what they are doing in your life right now, okay? So we're going to lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread, and that is going to include this mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're not going to reveal that until the very end, so stick around to the end of the video, and hopefully that will tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for, okay? So, the first thing that I'm noticing is that well, first of all, there's not really a lot of major arcana here. Let's see, we see a little bit of fire, we see some air, we see some earth. Okay, so it's a fair balance of energies, I think. But right off the bat, we see these two. We see an air sign and a water sign person. So I'm thinking that your situation this week is involving these two people, and we'll take these one by one and see if we can get a little bit of an idea of what is going on, what these people are about, what they're bringing to the table this week. First is this Prince of Cups. Now I think this is someone about the same age as you. They could have a masculine energy about them. They could be a water sign. Okay, but if they're not a water sign, or if you just, don't go around knowing everybody's astrological placements, that's okay. This is someone who has a bit of a hidden agenda, I feel like. I think that they are outwardly very friendly, very amicable, they get along with everybody, right? They're kind of someone that maybe you think is a little bit too nice, a little bit over-friendly, or they just seem a little bit, like it's a little bit of a put-on, right? How friendly they are and how much they're really, agreeing with you or trying to be friendly, trying to get along, trying to demonstrate their support, right? Well, I think they have a hidden agenda there. I think there's something going on with them that they have a different idea in themselves, right? They have a different plan, a different agenda. They feel differently about things than they are expressing outwardly. And I think, looking at some of these cards, I can't rightly tell if this is a business deal, if this is something in your personal life, if this is maybe at the home, in your relationship, or if this is something going on at work, okay? Like I said, there's a fair balance of cards here. So this could be really going on in any aspect of your life. Could be a professional situation, could be a personal situation, okay? But we'll see if we can narrow it down a little bit as we go. Because with these readings, I'm just going to take a little time out here. These readings are meant to be general readings, right? We don't enter into this with any kind of a plan or any kind of our own agenda, right? We don't have any kind of structure or focus on where the reading is going to go, what area of life we're talking about. You know what I mean? I don't call this a love reading. I don't call this a career reading. We take a snapshot of the energy as it is right now. Okay? And yes, a lot of the times the majority of our energy, of your energy, is going to be focused on work or on your relationship. But in very rare cases, is that a totality? Is that a 100% focus? We're not living in a vacuum here. So the reading is never going to be about just one thing, right? Because it's very rare that all of your energy is focused 100% on one thing in any given moment, right? I think there will always be other factors, other situations, other people that are influencing, that are taking part, that are affecting your situation, your general energy right now, okay? So we'll see if we can narrow this down to where this person might be existing for you in your life. But right now it could really be in either a professional situation or a personal situation. But someone who outwardly is very friendly, really tries to get along almost to the point where it feels a little put on. And there's maybe you're getting this sneaking suspicion already that there's something else going on beneath the surface with them. There's some sort of hidden motive with them, okay? And now we see this Knight of Swords swooping into the situation, right? Now, this could be you. I mean, you're an Aquarius, you're an air sign after all. This could be representing you kind of confronting this person or discovering what their hidden agenda really is, okay? Discovering or realizing, coming to the awareness that there is something going on with them, something beneath the surface. They have that sort of hidden agenda, the concealed motives, something that is in some ways evoking a little bit of mistrust, right? You're a little bit suspicious of them already. I think this is coming during this week. I think this is something that maybe hasn't quite developed yet. Maybe you haven't had this kind of suspicion about this person or this realization or these little clues that maybe there's something going on. But I think this is somebody that's in your life already, okay? I think this is someone that you've had quite a few dealings with. Okay, now we're going to move to a different card, but we'll come back to this and what this pair is kind of signifying, right? And what the deal is with those two. Because in the recent past, we see a Three of Swords. Okay, so I think that you've had some dealings with this person before. This is someone that I think that you have known for a while, either in your professional life or your personal life. Okay. And there has been some kind of issue with that person. They either went through some sort of hardship or tragedy. They went through some event in their life, okay, that you expressed a lot of compassion, a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy toward that person, right? It's almost that you saw that they were suffering and you reached out to them to be that kind of loving, supportive kind of friend, coworker, lover, romantic partner, whatever the situation is. But they went through something, and that event for them is kind of what drew you in to their life. Okay? Do you see where I'm kind of going with this? They had something going on. Maybe they went through a breakup. Maybe they lost a family member, God forbid. But they went through some sort of tragedy, some sort of upsetting event in their life. And that kind of drew you into them. You reached out to them with your loving, generous spirit to support them, to show compassion, right? And that's how the two of you kind of got involved with each other on a personal level. Now, this still could be, in the workplace or something. But this is how the two of you kind of connected on this personal level. Okay. And now I see, like I said, this Knight of Swords swooping into this situation. I think this is kind of an abrupt realization on your part. I think that while you were kind of drawn into this person's life through this Three of Swords event, whatever this upset, this tragedy, this hardship, we can call it, whatever that hardship was, drew you into this person's life. But I think this week you're going to be maybe receiving some new information, having some sort of realization, or making some rather profound observation about this person that's going to give you this new understanding. It's going to be like a revelation of sorts, right? And I think that it's going to be rather abrupt. I think it's going to be an instance where you kind of just react to the situation. It's not something you take home and and think about it, contemplate it, try to understand it. I think in the moment that you see this, you're going to act, right? You're going to kind of, just like this card, you're going to kind of swoop in and express yourself in an active way. Maybe, with some harsh words, maybe with raising your voice, being a little confrontational. All right? And that's what I'm feeling with this card anyway. I hope that it's not anything that is this severe or this upsetting. Okay. But the energy as I see it right now is this is where the energy is flowing right now. Now through your actions, through the just infinite variables of life, this all could change right now. It could change at any moment, right? If we were to lay out 10 more cards, plus the 11th mystery card. If we were to lay out 10 more cards, it would be completely different, and the energy would be flowing in a different way. But this is the snapshot right now, okay? And I think that this person is kind of the focus of your energies this week. It's whatever is going on with them, whatever kind of relationship you have with them. And we're going to look at some other cards, of course, to see what that relationship might be and what are some of the other factors involved there. But I think this event is coming. I think there's going to be this kind of revelation, this new information, this observation that you make, and you're going to just react to it in the moment, okay? And with that, we also see this Two of Wands. And so this is telling me also, it's, contributing to this idea that there's going to be an abrupt kind of revelation or observation, and you're going to just act. It's not something you're going to take home and contemplate and try to understand. You're going to just kind of react, really, in the moment, right? Because you see that whatever is going on with this person, whatever their hidden motive, hidden agenda, their kind of whatever their secret energy is about, it affects you. It affects the control that you have over your life. It affects what you thought was reality, right? So I'm kind of, in some ways, leaning toward this maybe being like a lover or a romantic partner that you're involved with, that you kind of see a different side of them, or they do something. I don't want to invoke infidelity, or that you catch them cheating or something like that. That could be a pretty blatant and obvious way to go with this energy, right? I don't want to invoke that. And if that is what your suspicions are, or if that is what comes to pass, I'm truly sorry that is how this is going down. Okay? But whatever it may be, it could be something more subtle than that, right? It could be something more subtle. And again, this could be in the professional setting, could be in a personal, private setting. I don't know. It really is either way, but there is that connection with that person. And like I said, the two of you kind of came together because of this upset, this hardship that they went through, that drew you in with your compassionate energy, with your loving and supportive spirit. That's how the two of you became close. There's going to be something going on this week that is a shock to your system, kind of. It's like an abrupt observation or revelation. Some new information is uncovered, and you're going to react. You're going to want to react. Now, whether you do or not is your choice, but the impulse is going to be there, and especially because of this Two of Wands. And this is at the top of the path of the dove, so this is the card that is kind of the whole reading in a nutshell, right? And I think the whole reading really is asking, at least on the path of the dove, is how are you going to react? You have these two options for this energy, this very abrupt and aggressive reactionary energy that you feel, right? How are you going to direct that? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to confront this? Are you going to swoop in like this Knight of Swords into the situation and have that confrontation? Or are you going to channel this kind of fiery, this maybe anger in a different direction, right? So I think it is about choice. I think the reading is primarily, at least in this situation, is about this choice. Okay. And since we're on the vertical axis already, we're going to go down to the bottom. This is underneath the surface. This is what is going on as a foundation. This card kind of represents like some of your basic needs, right? Like what are the things in your life that you really need to have stable and secure in order for you to move up to the higher aspirations, right? Your higher goals, your higher purpose in life. What are these basic things that you need? Well, we see a Ten of Cups here. So I think the Ten of Cups is showing that in your life, one of your basic needs is really knowing that your relationship with someone, with everyone that's close to you, that your relationships in general are based on this complete love, support, and trust. I think trust is really important to you. And with the Ten of Cups, it feels like you really want this one person or each relationship that you have, right? With friends, family members, loved ones, and your romantic partner in particular, but every relationship in general. You really want it to be just 100% fulfilling, committed, trusting, loving, supportive, right? And I think this is the part of the issue here, because you see with this person that there's something hidden, something missing, something that is not forthcoming, that's not 100% honest and supportive and loving and fulfilling, So there's something hidden with that person that kind of is going against your basic needs of having that kind of commitment, having that kind of like ride or die with your friends and with your romantic partner, right? Or with your family. It's that kind of commitment. And with the Ten of Cups here, I also feel that there is a strong need for you to have something to fight for, right? There's one of your basic needs is to have something to strive for, something to work toward, some kind of a goal, but not a physical goal or financial goal like, you want to get that promotion in 6 months or whatever. No, this is more of an emotional goal. You thrive on there being some degree of conflict, right? It's maybe not conflict, but some degree of challenge, maybe. Something to strive for, something to work toward. So it's a little bit of that conflict, right? And this goes right along with this Two of Wands that we were talking about, because, it's really a weird paradox, because on the one hand, you really do want something that's 110% commitment. You want there to be complete transparency, trust, honesty, complete support and love in each of these relationships, right? Ride or die relationships, friends, family, romantic partners. But at the same time, if you had that, I think you would be bored to death, right? I don't think you would be fulfilled if you had that. So to have this minor lack of those things, to have it be a little bit less than perfect, gives you something to strive for, something to fight for, something to work toward. You're kind of thriving on the drama a little bit. I don't mean any offense by that, but I think there's a little bit of that going on. And indeed, I think you're going to have it with this person. I think that there is, like I said, something going on with them, some hidden agenda, some secret motivation or something with that person that is going to give you that opportunity to swoop in and have this kind of battle, have this conflict, have this confrontation that, again, is something that you kind of secretly thrive on. But it's also this week a matter of choice if you're going to act on that, or if you're going to direct this kind of impulse, this anger, this energy, this force in a different direction. Now, what we see in the immediate future is an eight of discs. So it kind of seems like right now at the moment you're going to choose a more pacifistic approach, right? It seems to me like you're going to slow down, back off, analyze the situation. It is going to, I think, perhaps go in that direction of taking this home with you to think about it, to try to understand it, rather than acting impulsively in the moment, right? But this is only one possible outcome. I think this is kind of the ideal outcome, what maybe you would intellectually, what you think that you would do, or maybe what you're thinking right now that, yeah, I would just, I'd go home and think about it, figure out what I want to do, and then act. And you would act, of course, with that full force and fire of this Two of Wands, but in the moment that this information kind of comes to light, right? You make this observation, you have this revelation. It seems to me like you might take this route, or you would want to take this route, being cautious, being careful, don't react, don't jump to conclusions. Certainly don't act on impulse and do something that you will later regret. Take it home, think about it. Okay. But the Eight of Discs is not guaranteed. It's very easy to fail at this one, right? We think that this is where we would go. We think that this is what we would do in that situation, but when the time comes, we don't know. We might just completely rush through this and not even stop for a moment to consider taking a different path, right? So this is something to keep in mind, that this is a possibility. This is a potential path for you to take. This is open to you. You don't have to react in the moment to this situation. Okay? You can take this home and think about it. Right? You can get some focus, get some clarity, and then make your decision. Now, we are going to move over to the path of the Serpent here, because there are some other cards that seem pretty interesting in this context, especially considering what is going on the path of the Dove here. The first card we have is the Universe of the World. This represents your overall energy right now. What is on your mind? What is your aura right now? And I think that this is kind of one of feeling like things have been delayed, that there's something stalling this situation, or stalling your life right now. And it could be this relationship that you're in with this person, right? I'm starting more and more to feel like this is kind of a lover or romantic situation. But I feel like things haven't really been progressing. Things haven't really been going anywhere. You're doing this kind of dance. It's maybe been going on for a while, but there's no progress. There's no next level. There's no talk of the future. There's no planning. It's just kind of enjoying the moment, which, is good and fun and worthwhile in its own right. You know what I mean? Enjoying the eternal now. Being present in the moment. But there comes a point where you start to wonder, well, what are we doing next week, in a year, in 5 years? What's the plan? What's the path here? Because right now it feels like it's just kind of dancing in this eternal moment. And it's starting to feel like a long moment. And I think this is something that's been on your mind now. And this, at least to me, this is really connecting with this maybe a little bit of suspicion that is already starting to grow in you for this person, toward this person. That because things have been so delayed and there's been this lack of progress, that it's kind of leading you to wonder, is there something else going on? Is there some hidden motive or hidden agenda with this person? Okay? So this is how we're connecting these two paths today. And I think kind of on the right track with that. Again, because it's been this eternal moment has been going on a long time. And so you might be starting to wonder if there's something else brewing with that person. Okay. Now here is the card representing the relationship, and this is kind of what I've been waiting to talk about, because I think this is also very telling. Right? This is also a pretty strong indication of what's going on, and this card's in the position of how you relate to this person. What is the nature of that relationship? Okay. See a Two of Discs. Change, fluctuation, alternation, on, off, black, white, hot, cold, up, down. All of those opposites, right? So I feel like your relationship with this person is maybe one of those on again, off again situations. Maybe in one moment it seems very committed, it seems very Ten of Cups, and the next moment it feels like maybe the flip side of the Ten of Cups, where there's not that ride or die, that commitment, that 100% support and devotion and commitment, right? So I feel like this is part of the issue too, is that the relationship's kind of hot, cold, on, off. It seems like it fluctuates a lot. And that, I feel, is also contributing to this feeling of suspicion, of wondering what the hell's really going on. Okay? Because, again, one day it seems like this person's all in, 100% committed. Yes, I'm serious, let's go. The next moment, they're ignoring your phone calls, they're not texting you back, or they're out all night, and it's something. There's some kind of fluctuation there. It's kind of this up and down, on again, off again. Serious attitude, and then a really carefree, not interested, not committed type of attitude. So it's confusing. It's mixed signals there, right? And I feel like this is the nature of your relationship with this person. This is how it's been going for a while. I think quite a while. Because of this universe, this world card. I feel like you've been doing this kind of black and white dance for some time now. And time is relative, right? So what could seem like a short instant to one person may feel like an eternity to you. Maybe you just met this person a couple weeks ago, but you feel like it's been a long time that you've been in this fluctuation, that you've been doing this dance, right? Or it could literally be that you've been doing this for months or years, or I don't know how long. The next card that we see is in the position of your fears, worries, concerns. What is kind of the obstacle that you're going to have to overcome? And we see the Ace of Swords. This is that absolute certainty. This is that absolute truth. This is the revelation, the understanding, the wisdom that comes from knowing whatever this observation or this revelation is going to be this week. We said that you were, on the one hand, perhaps, possibly, going to take this home and try to understand it, right? Try to really discern the truth, what's really going on. And that is what we see here. This is the truth. This is you discerning what is really going on. This is having that absolute certainty. And this is in the position, again, of your fears, worries, concerns. You're worried that you're not going to have 100% certainty. The obstacle here, I think, is overcoming this need for absolute certainty. Because I don't think there is absolute truth. I don't think there ever could be 100% absolute certainty. Especially in a situation like this, there are so many variables. Again, if I laid out 10 plus 1 more cards, it would be a completely different set of circumstances, a completely different flow of energy. We could see some similarities. There would be some connections there, I'm sure of it, because I've done it. And we would see that it's pretty much the same set of circumstances, but there are more variables now. There are different angles to it. There's more data. There's different data, right? So each moment that you spend thinking about this, it's going to look a little bit different. So there is no 100% certainty. And I think this card in this position is saying, yeah, you want this. You want to get as close to this as possible, but you have to realize that there is no 100% certainty. Okay? And even if this person were to reveal all of their secrets to you and tell you honestly what is going on, you're still not going to have 100% absolute certainty, because if they've been deceptive once, they could be deceptive again. Right? It's going to be a different set of circumstances. Even if they were to swear on everything holy that they're being honest with you, you're never going to be 100% absolute in your certainty. Okay? So this is an obstacle. This need for this knowledge, this complete and utter knowledge and understanding of what's going on is unobtainable. Okay. Now, the next card that we see on the path of the Serpent here is what comes after you've accepted this. Once you accept that there could never be 100% absolute certainty about anything, once you've accepted that, you're going to feel a lot better. Right? You're going to have a little bit of that love and freedom and joy and pleasure and a little bit of like that warm, fuzzy feeling about things. Right? And don't ask me how that could occur through this realization, but I think it is a little bit of that surrendering, a little bit of that, acknowledging that there's no way we could know everything that's going on. And that uncertainty somehow gives us a little bit of hope or a little bit of optimism, gives us a little bit of safety or security, right? You feel a little bit less burdened, knowing that you could never get 100% absolute certainty. Accepting that fact is a rather liberating feeling, because now you don't have to stress and strive and struggle to get that, because it's impossible to get that. So you kind of just have to accept the situation as it is. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut. Trust what your spirit guides are telling you, what the universe is telling you, what your own self is telling you. And to not have this stress or this burden of trying to achieve this 100% absolute certainty is, I think, a very comforting feeling. To be free of that, I think, is going to be a rather warm, fuzzy feeling. And now also, though, this card has a double edge to it. This card is also about the seduction that comes with that. If you were to realize that there's no way for you to know the absolute truth, right? You can get fairly close. You think you got a good idea what's going on. You're never going to know 100%. Okay? You accept that. It may be easy to be seduced back into this situation, because that inner resolve to just not seek the truth, right? Which is not what I'm advocating. I'm not advocating that we just accept what people tell us and naively and blindly believe what we're told, right? I'm not advocating that. But that's the temptation here. That's the seduction here. If you come to realize that you can't know the absolute truth, then you might just give in to whatever the situation is. You might be easily seduced into this situation. And that's not what we want either. So there still has to be a level head about it. You still have to, I think, really utilize this Eight of Discs and be discerning, be thoughtful. Pay attention to the details. Contemplate, think, use your head. Trust your gut. Use your head. It's very much like trying to grow this wonderful, beautiful tree from a little seed. You have to do what's logical: sunlight, water, good soil, right? You have to trust your gut. You have to trust your gut that you know what the situation calls for. You know what this tree needs to grow. You know how much, how little, what kind of energy to give, to put into it. So it's a logical, very, very logical, practical thing. But it also calls for some intuition, right? And it's very much like this situation that we see on the path of the dove. So allow yourself to feel comforted by this release of this need for absolute truth. But then also beware of the seduction, that you're not tempted to just fall back into this situation blindly. Okay? Don't be seduced by this, especially by this comfort now. If you feel like you don't have to be discerning, you don't have to use your head, you don't have to seek the truth, then you might just be lulled back to sleep, seduced back into this situation. Okay, and we don't want that either. So it's a delicate balance. But now let's look at this confirmation card, this mystery card, this bonus card. Let's find out what this could be. Now, I don't have much of an idea what this is. I think this could be something like a Four of Cups. It could be that stability. It could be that you're just idling. You're avoiding the storm. You're not really making very many moves. You're anchored for now. Okay. But let's see. Maybe not a Four of Cups. Maybe Four of Discs. I don't know why I'm thinking fours. Oh, even better. Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Now, if you are already a follower of this channel, you know what I think about the 9 and the 10 of Cups, right? And we talked about the 10 of Cups, needing that 100% commitment, but then also being rather bored or disappointed if you were ever to get this kind of 100% absolute commitment from your life, from your relationships. So now we see the 9 of Cups. Now the keyword for this card is happiness. Right? So I think the key to all of this energy, this entire situation, everything that we talked about, boils down to your happiness. What is it that you need to be happy? Because this nine of Cups is about striving towards your happiness, feeling your happiness, getting closer to it, right? That joy that we experience when we are becoming happy. Once we are happy, once you become sugar, you can't taste sugar. Once you become happiness, you can experience what it's like to gain your happiness. So the 9 of Cups is about going after your happiness, gaining your happiness. All right. So the question that we're going to end with today is, what is it that's going to make you happy? Is the abandoning of the search for absolute truth, abandoning that, is that going to make you happy? Is just allowing yourself to be seduced back into the situation and being carefree with it, not trying to sort out the facts, not trying to get to the bottom of things, is that kind of release, is that kind of surrender and acceptance, is that what your happiness looks like? So the question really is, what would it look like for you to gain your happiness, to go after your happiness and gain it, to strive for it, right? What does that look like to you? And in the context of this situation, do you think that you're going to be reaching for your happiness by falling back into this situation and just kind of ignoring what's going on? Or are you going to be reaching for your happiness and pulling it toward you by coming to your own decisions, making up your own mind, and doing what needs to be done? Maybe confronting the situation, maybe moving on. Is that going to lead you to your happiness? Right? And we also were talking about this Two of Wands and this kind of choice of what to do with this anger, this frustration, this fiery energy. Are you going to just be reactionary, confront the situation right then and there? Is that you reaching for your happiness and pulling it toward you? Or are you going to go home, contemplate, try to sort it out, try to be understanding, figure things out, approaching the truth, but knowing that you are never going to know with 100% absolute certainty? Is that path? Is that you reaching for your happiness and pulling it toward you? So that's the confirmation. The confirmation is kind of a question today. What does it look like when you are reaching for your happiness? Not what does it look like when you have it? Because we talked about that, right? When you get everything you want, there's nothing left to want and you're just kind of miserable. You're bored. What does striving for your happiness look like? Okay, that's the question for today. And now we're going to take a look at this a little bit more in the extended. You can become a member to this channel by clicking on the link down in the description box. And I really do encourage you to do that. It really helps the channel, and it helps to grow what we're doing here. And I thank you all so much. This was your weekly tarot forecast on Dove and Serpent Tarot.